My BF refused to talk things out last night, knowing full well I can't sleep with unresolved issues in the room, and this morning refused to talk things out, accusing me of not letting him go to work, which I never do. I'm a mess right now, crying, shaking, can't really control my breathing right now. So when it comes to relationships, I don't believe in giving up. I believe with every relationship you're in, you should try your best until the wheels fall off, right? Because if you don't learn your lesson with this person and you move on to the next one, you're bound to make the same mistakes. It's always better to work things out. So even though in the long run, even if you guys don't stick together, the lesson is learned. And I believe like everyone is in your life for a reason. It's very important not to miss out on this lesson. You have needs, right? You have a need to communicate with him, right? But he has a need to have space. So you both are not having your needs met. At a certain level, you have to understand him. And at a certain level, he has to understand you. And that's where you guys get to meet at the middle. But if you don't have that and it's hard for you guys to meet at the middle, that means you both have an expectation problem. So when it comes to relationships and trying to preserve them and trying to communicate to get it better, you both have to manage your expectations right from the get-go really well. Because what you expect from him may not be something that he's able to give. And what he expects from you is not what you're able to give him. And if you're going into that state where you feel incredibly emotional and it's very hard for you to like deal with the situation, it also means that you have a very high price for your happiness with this person. That means like if A, B, C, D, E isn't met, you can't be happy. Expectation management is different from like, you know, person to person. At the end of the day, if you want to be with this person, you have to manage your expectations and you got to try to understand what they expect from you. So the number one way you can like lead your relationship to the rocks and destroy everything is by not loving them in a way that they feel free, if that makes sense. A lot of people are fooled into thinking that love is a very intense feeling and they gotta be this way in order for things to be correct. And many years ago, I fell into the same trap. It's very easy to think that, oh, this is how it's supposed to be. This person is supposed to be here for me. We have to talk about this right now. We have to resolve it. But that's not the case, bro. If you want someone to love you and give you 100%, you have to give them the space to do it. You can't like demand it from the person, and even if the person gives it to you, it's done begrudgingly. So what you're really doing right now is you're sacrificing the long term to satisfy the short term. You're not thinking about the whole like the long game, right? You want to win right now. You want to have things your way right now, but you don't understand like what you want right now could jeopardize your future together. So if you really care about like being together for the long haul, you got to play the long game. And the only way to play the long game is to manage your expectations, is to love someone in a way that they feel free. So this was a concept that it's really hard to grasp because I took some time to even like learn it. You have to love the person in such a way that if one day that person comes to you and say, I'm sorry, but I want to be with someone else because they can make me happier. If you truly love the person selflessly, you would let them go and be happy, because in virtue of them being happy, you're happy, right? If you can't love someone on that level, the love you have is very conditional and you're not selfless about it. And you gotta think the long game. When you love someone in such a controlling manner where you have to get them to sit down and resolve the issue immediately, or they have to behave or perform a certain thing right here, right now, you are making the person feel trapped. No matter what. Like even if you're right, even if all the arguments you put on the table is correct, you are jeopardizing your attraction to that person. Because even at the end of the day, if you guys are in a relationship, whether if it's like 1 month, 1 year, 10 years, it's all based on attraction. You can't jeopardize that attraction. It doesn't matter if like you guys promise to love each other to the day you die. It is your responsibility to make sure that you try to make the guy or the girl that you're with still attracted with you. And being controlling and trying to control the situation and not giving them the space to come back at you is the quickest way that you can kill attraction. You have to give the person the space to love you back. So you can have it your way right now, but you'll get what you want the short term. But what you're really building with the person is resentment. You're not building trust. If trust and communication is what you want in the relationship, you have to trust that the relationship will fix itself even if you give it space. So if you don't give it enough space, that means you don't trust it. You don't trust that you guys will like eventually cool down and come back and talk to each other again. There's a lot of fear in what you said. Like, you know, we need to solve this now. I don't feel comfortable. Even on his part, like he feels fear. Like he needs space. He needs to go to work. work. He doesn't want to talk about it. He just doesn't want to feel bogged down. What you're really putting into your relationship is an energy that is filled with fear, which is filled with anger, is filled with resentment. And the quickest way you can turn this boat around is to change what you can change, which is your feelings. You can't change the other person. You have to start with yourself. If you don't start the first domino effect of like wanting to turn this whole boat around, your relationship is going to crash to the rocks. You have to start. When you think about happiness, you're already lost. Because when it comes to relationship that lasts for years or something that is sustainable over a long time, do not aim for happiness. Aim for peace. And if being peaceful means that you have to let go a lot of things on your end and try to resolve unfinished issues with just yourself without the other person, you have to do that first. Because every time you aim to be happy, you will inevitably also create sadness. There's no way you can achieve happiness without also going through some sadness. And how much sadness and misery are you going to put yourself and your partner through until you achieve that happiness? So every time you aim to have a certain thing, like I need this to be happy, I need A, B, C, D, E to be complete, you are driving your relationship to the rocks. Because when you're in any relationship, you have to go with it with the mindset of like, I'm here to give, not to take. If you're only there to take, eventually, no matter how giving the other person is, you're gonna burn him out. You're gonna burn her out. Yo, I hope that advice helps you. I really gotta go feed my cat right now.